Chapter 2135. Take my spear. This ends here. The human Saint Venerables all breathed a sigh of relief. With a magical treasure protecting her, no wonder Lin Moyu wasn't worried about sneak attacks. Especially the sword Saint Venerable, who suddenly remembered the sword in Lin Moyu's hand, thinking to herself,
with the heaven and earth sword protecting her, there's really nothing to worry about.
On the 100 Race Alliance side, the expressions of the several Saint Venerables were extremely unpleasant. They hadn't expected Lin Moyu to have such a powerful magical treasure protecting her, easily destroying the dark gold Saint Venerable's spell. Another scream rang out as the black gold Saint Venerable was somehow struck by a sword again, with another wound appearing on his body. The injury wasn't severe, just a flesh wound, but he still couldn't find his opponent. The kill Saint Venerable had summoned his rule world, with pitch-black mist enveloping space. Even the black gold Saint Venerable's golden light couldn't penetrate it. No one could see clearly into the kill Saint Venerable's rule world. His rule world was completely shrouded in black mist, and no one knew exactly what was inside. The black gold Saint Venerable was swallowed by the black mist. Then a light as bright as the sun rose within the black mist. The black gold Saint Venerable had deployed his rule world. Within the golden light, the black gold Saint Venerable suddenly revealed a ferocious expression. Before his eyes, a terrifying figure suddenly appeared. Somehow, Lin Moyu had appeared in front of him, raising the heaven and earth sword to strike down at him. His vision was filled with sword energy, as if about to devour him. The black gold Saint Venerable retreated with a scream, when suddenly he felt pain in his back, followed by an explosion. The black gold Saint Venerable was blasted away, with a large hole appearing in his chest. His entire body, from back to front, was completely shattered, with all his internal organs pulverized. Only then did the black gold Saint Venerable realize there was no Lin Moyu at all. What he had seen before was just an illusion. Lin Moyu was still standing far away, motionless as she meditated. He didn't know how the kill Saint Venerable had created such an illusion that could even fool him. At this moment, the black mist extended towards him again, about to swallow him. The black gold Saint Venerable felt fear in his heart. Not daring to continue fighting, he let out a strange cry and immediately fled far away. A roar sounded in space as the war god's spear tore apart the dark gold Saint Venerable's spell. The war Saint Venerable summoned his rule world, and a terrifying war god appeared in space. The war god's appearance was identical to Xiao Zhantian. The war Saint Venerable had used Xiao Zhantian as the model to construct his rule world. His rule world was the war god Xiao Zhantian, once the nightmare of all races. The myriad-colored water flew out, and the power of belief burned. At this moment, the war Saint Venerable was like Xiao Zhantian reborn. He raised the war god's spear, and instantly a terrifying giant spear millions of meters long materialized in space, carrying the momentum to pierce the heavens as it thrust towards the dark gold Saint Venerable. The dark gold Saint Venerable also summoned his rule world, which was a golden sun. Golden flames burned within the sun, but facing the war god's spear, his rule world developed countless cracks. The dark gold Saint Venerable let out a strange cry, transforming into a stream of light and quickly retreating, fleeing billions of miles in an instant. There was terror in his eyes, but the war god's spear pierced through space, following closely behind. He screamed again, instantly fleeing out of sight. Another stream of light fled into the distance. The black gold Saint Venerable had also escaped. At the same time, his voice echoed through space.
Retreat!
The Magma Demon Lord and Blood Bull Saint Venerable retreated at the same time. With the Saint Venerables retreating, it meant the 100 Race Alliance was routed once again. Last time, the humans didn't pursue. But this time, the Sword Saint Venerable issued the order to pursue with full force.
Kill!
The human army, with overwhelming momentum, advanced and crushed everything in their path. The several Saint Venerables all attacked towards the Transcendent Realm experts. This time, they were determined to kill to their heart's content. The 100 Race Alliance was not like the human race. Their hearts were never truly united. Now they were utterly routed, fleeing as fast as they could. Over 1 billion troops were in retreat, in complete chaos and disorder. The humans pursued and killed relentlessly behind them, leaving countless corpses. In this chaotic situation, the Transcendent Realm experts of the 100 Race Alliance wanted to draw the battle into areas with ordinary soldiers, using them as hostages to restrict the humans' attacks. But they couldn't do it. Space was in complete disarray, with troops scattered in all directions. There was no way to find large concentrated groups of troops. Moreover, the humans were determined this time. Even if they had to pay some price, they would pursue to the end. The death toll of the 100 Race Alliance kept rising. Corpses filled space too numerous to count. After pursuing for billions of miles, they finally saw some planets. There were over 100 planets, arranged in a special formation in space. At the center of the planets floated a huge palace. This was the headquarters of the 100 Race Alliance, and countless people were fleeing into it. There were still some garrison troops in the headquarters, but they now appeared very panicked. The soldiers who had fled back in defeat were all terrified, and their emotions infected the garrison troops as well. Everyone knew that they had lost this great battle again, and lost very thoroughly. In the distance, they saw the powerful human army pursuing and killing as they approached. Some cowardly garrison troops let out strange cries and joined the fleeing crowd, abandoning even the headquarters.
Stop!
When they were still 100 million miles from the 100 Race Alliance headquarters, the Sword Saint Venerable suddenly issued an order. The human soldiers were disciplined and immediately halted. On the battlefield, the Sword Saint Venerable's orders were the highest command, and no one would disobey. The palace in the 100 Race Alliance headquarters radiated light, which transformed into countless lines connecting over 100 planets together. A barrier naturally formed, with a demon face appearing on it.
Demon Lord!
The Sword Saint Venerable's voice was cold as she stared at that demon face. The demon face was the Demon Lord, the foundation of the demon race. Like Star Elder, he was a terrifying half-step supreme existence. The Demon Lord said in a low voice,
We have lost this battle.
The Sword Saint Venerable laughed coldly.
You shouldn't have come out.
The Demon Lord said,
But this old one still came.
The meaning in his words was very clear. I came out anyway, what can you do about it? At this moment, the War Saint Venerable arrived with his rule world, like Shao Zhantian reborn, towering between heaven and earth. The War Saint Venerable said coldly,
Take my spear, and this battle ends here.
The Demon Lord said in a low voice,
Very well.
The myriad-colored water and the power of belief burned simultaneously, pushing the spear thrust to the extreme. The giant manifested by the rule world took the war god spear, which grew to millions of meters long, and thrust out. Space shattered with a boom as the war god spear, carrying world-destroying might, struck towards the Demon Lord. The Demon Lord let out a roar, spewing two-colored fire from his mouth. The abyssal fire and hellfire fused together, forming true demon flames. The flames also transformed into a long spear, clashing with the war god spear. With a tremendous boom, planets shattered one after another. In an instant, 10 planets were obliterated, and at least hundreds of thousands of people from the 100 Race Alliance died on the spot. The images of the war god spear and demon flame spear both dissipated simultaneously, with no victor. The Demon Lord's voice slowly rang out.
This spear of yours already has 30% of Shao Zhantian's power back then. But to deal with me, it's still a bit lacking.
The War Saint Venerable withdrew his rule world. His face was pale, having expended all his power in that single spear thrust. Swallowing a pill, the War Saint Venerable said,
The Demon Lord is indeed formidable. Let this battle end here. If you want to fight again, we humans will oblige to the end.
After saying this, he gave a look to the Sword Saint Venerable. The Sword Saint Venerable called out loudly,
Withdraw the troops.
2136, 2136. Chapter 2136. People gone, star systems gone. Along the way, the human race collected the bodies. Even the weakest among them were god kings, and the slightly stronger ones were god venerables. The bodies of the alien races were also very useful, as they could be used for alchemy and crafting. At the same time, the bodies of fallen human comrades needed to be collected and brought back for proper burial. Lin Moyu had also finished adjusting her breath. Although her strength had not fully recovered, it was stable. Returning to the human camp, the Sword Saint Venerable ordered a tally of the casualties. The War Saint Venerable looked at the Sword Saint Venerable with some embarrassment.
I took the liberty of making a decision on your behalf. Don't be angry.
The Sword Saint Venerable shook her head.
I won't be. It should have stopped anyway. Even if you hadn't acted, I would have tried the Demon Lord myself.
The War Saint Venerable said,
The Demon Lord is indeed powerful. I struck with all my might, yet he easily blocked it. A half-step supreme is truly extraordinary.
The strike from the War Saint Venerable just now had reached the peak of the Saint Venerable level. He had used both the myriad-colored water and the power of belief, but still couldn't do anything to the Demon Lord. Moreover, this wasn't even the Demon Lord's true body, just a projection of his power through the barrier, showing a significant gap in strength. It was precisely because of the Demon Lord's presence that the Sword Saint Venerable ordered the pursuit to stop. The Sword Saint Venerable said,
I also wanted to test him earlier. Now it seems his strength far surpasses ours. Only Star Elder can compare.
The Kill Saint Venerable said,
Back then, Lord War God didn't destroy the demon race, one reason being the Demon Lord.
The events of that year were very secretive, known only to a few Saint Venerables, and even they weren't very clear on the details. If anyone in the human race knew the whole story, it would be Star Elder and the Human Emperor. But they knew that Xiao Zhantian originally intended to destroy the demon race but failed because of the Demon Lord. Later, the human race recovered and became stronger, surpassing the demon race in strength. Yet they still couldn't destroy the demon race, and the deepest reason was the Demon Lord. A half-step supreme is not strictly a supreme but still within the transcendent realm. The transcendent realm is a large realm with significant differences within it. Saint Venerables are far superior to ordinary transcendents, and half-step supremes are far superior to Saint Venerables. At this level of strength, the effect of numbers becomes significantly reduced. The human race could destroy the 3 silver races because they had no half-step supremes. But both the demon race and the golden eagle race had half-step supremes. The War Saint Venerable said,
I heard from Star Elder that Lin Xiaoyu has a trump card that can kill the Demon Lord, but for some reason, he can't use it. The specific reason wasn't explained by Star Elder, just told me not to rush and wait.
Lin Moyu suddenly spoke.
When I reach the Saint Venerable level and construct a rule world, I should be able to kill him.
Everyone looked at Lin Moyu simultaneously, and the Sword Saint Venerable's eyes shone.
Is what Mohan said true?
Lin Moyu said,
I said should. The problem shouldn't be too big.
The War Saint Venerable also said,
How confident are you, Fairy Han?
Lin Moyu said,
50%, but we'll see when the time comes.
The War Saint Venerable said,
Then we'll wait for Fairy Han to reach the Saint Venerable level. As long as we can kill the Demon Lord, we can destroy the demon race.
In the 100 Race Alliance camp, the morale of the remaining soldiers was low, completely devoid of fighting spirit. In this battle, countless died and were injured, making it difficult to count. Most importantly, their morale was utterly crushed. They felt that even with the 100 Race Alliance, they couldn't compete with the human race. The human race seemed like a galaxy in front of them, insurmountable. The teleportation array lit up, and hellfire burned fiercely. The Hell Demon Lord arrived, stepping into the central castle to meet the other Saint Venerables.
The Abyssal Demon Lord was severely injured, and his rule world was heavily damaged. He needs time to heal. During this time, I will replace the Abyssal Demon Lord. But I'm simple-minded and not good at thinking, only fighting. You discuss the specifics and just tell me what to do.
He sat down carelessly, stating his position. Although he claimed to be simple-minded, thinking so would be a big mistake. The Hell Demon Lord just didn't like thinking, but it didn't mean he couldn't. To become a Saint Venerable, none could truly be fools. The two Saint Venerables of the Golden Eagle race were also injured, but fortunately, they were only physical injuries and could heal quickly. The Dark Gold Saint Venerable held a golden gem, eyes closed, ignoring the Hell Demon Lord. The Black Gold Saint Venerable said,
This time we suffered heavy losses. The most troublesome part is the loss of morale. Reorganizing will take time. I'm curious, what exactly happened back then?
They all saw the Abyssal Demon Lord's abnormality but still didn't know what had happened. The Hell Demon Lord said,
That's the second thing I wanted to say. Our army in the White Tiger Star region was wiped out.
Thud. Everyone looked over, knowing this was no small matter. The Black Gold Saint Venerable said,
I remember we left 1 billion troops there, along with 2 Transcendents. Although not strong, how could they be wiped out? Was it the human race? But if the human race acted, we would know.
The Hell Demon Lord said,
It wasn't the human race. It was a starry sky giant tree.
This made it even stranger. They all knew the Starry Sky Giant Tree, which mastered the laws of space and was invincible in the same realm. In the Great World, there was only one Starry Sky Giant Tree that had reached the Transcendent Realm. The Black Gold Saint Venerable said,
Why did it attack us?
The Hell Demon Lord shook his head.
I don't know. That's just one thing. There's another, the White Stone race, Earth Stone race, Sand race, and 10 other races are gone.
The Black Gold Saint Venerable was even more puzzled.
What do you mean by gone?
The Hell Demon Lord said,
Gone means gone. The people are gone, and the star systems are gone.
This news was even more shocking. The Black Gold Saint Venerable couldn't help but stand up.
Have the ghost races appeared again?
The Hell Demon Lord shook his head.
Not sure. Our barrier and the Abyssal Demon, I didn't detect anything. They just disappeared suddenly.
The Hell Demon Lord couldn't explain it clearly. The Abyssal Demon Eye was controlled by the Abyssal Demon Lord, and he only knew what the Abyssal Demon Lord had told him. The Saint Venerables looked at each other, not knowing what to do. At this moment, the Dark Gold Saint Venerable said,
My Emperor has already met with the Demon Lord. They will investigate this matter. Our task now is to reorganize the army, adjust morale, and continue the war with the human race.
In deep space, Lin Moyu was surrounded by flowing laws. The laws of time poured down like flowing light, enveloping his entire body. The space around Lin Moyu continuously twisted, rolling like waves, appearing very orderly. This was deep space, where the power of space was chaotic and disorderly. But Lin Moyu's space laws could sort it out, making it orderly. Lin Moyu had been in meditation for over a year. The first 50 days were spent in enlightenment, during which his understanding of the laws of time and space deepened continuously. When the enlightenment state ended, his mastery of the laws of time had reached 40%, and the same for the laws of space, both maintaining a balanced state. From 24% to 40%, it was a huge leap for Lin Moyu, equivalent to 1,000 years of hard cultivation in just 50 days. After the 50 days, Lin Moyu spent the remaining 300 days integrating the two laws. The combination of the laws of time and space could form the power of spacetime. The effect of the space laws would be further amplified. It took Lin Moyu over 300 days to complete the integration of the two laws. He slowly opened his eyes and murmured to himself,
It's time to break through.
2137 2137. Chapter 2137. Advancing to Divine Venerable Rank 5. The warship left deep space and returned to the surface. Looking at the star map, Lin Moyu found he was not far from human territory. He also sensed for the Starry Sky Giant Tree, but could no longer detect it. Resurrected beings could only exist for 100 days. Over 200 days ago, the Starry Sky Giant Tree had already vanished. Perhaps in the future, a new Starry Sky Giant Tree would appear in the Great World, but it would no longer be this one. Lin Moyu sensed the last location of the Starry Sky Giant Tree, which was not far from him, only 200 million kilometers away. The order he had given the starry sky giant tree was to kill the Transcendents, then follow him and bring the Transcendents' corpses. As a resurrected being, the starry sky giant tree would fully execute Lin Moyu's orders. It had followed Lin Moyu, carrying the two broken corpses, until its time ran out. Each of Lin Moyu's steps covered 100 million kilometers. In just 2 or 3 steps, he arrived at the starry sky giant tree's last location. In the silent starry sky, 2 broken corpses floated. The corpses still emanated powerful auras, telling of their strength in life. In this era, Transcendents were absolute powerhouses, at the top of the food chain. But they still died, their bodies shattered. 2 transcendent corpses were worth more than tens of millions of divine venerables. The Hell Spirit's aura seemed to strengthen again. 2 transcendents, even their last traces erased, and they would become Lin Moyu's weapons.
This is Karma 2. Today's fruit comes from yesterday's seed. Without the power to resist, one can only endure.
Lin Moyu sighed. The immortal Law Star River emerged. Lin Moyu stepped into it and moved forward. The laws of time and space had increased from 24% to 40%, enough for Lin Moyu to break through again. For Lin Moyu, neither the soul realm nor the physical realm posed obstacles. As long as the laws of time and space met the requirements, he could break through. Lin Moyu strode forward in the immortal Law Star River. His aura grew stronger and stronger. In just half a day, he reached Divine Venerable Rank 4. Divine Venerable Rank 4, also called Mid-Rank Divine Venerable, represented a significant improvement in strength. Lin Moyu could feel power surging throughout his body as he entered Divine Venerable Rank 4. Both his physical body and soul were strengthening. The purple gold body glowed brightly. The already perfected purple gold body grew even stronger. Standing in the immortal Law Star River, Lin Moyu looked at the time and space Law Star rivers on either side. With a thought, vast power surged from the 2 Law Star rivers, falling onto his body. At this moment, the immortal law became the leader, while the time and space laws became soldiers, following the leader's commands. Lin Moyu continued forward, step by step. Suddenly his foot paused, he had kicked something. Reaching down, he scooped up a material from the Law Star River. The material was fist-sized, like a pebble, half gray and half white, perfectly matching the immortal law. He had always known there were many good things in the Law Star rivers. Many divine venerables liked to swim in the Law Star rivers to search for treasures. He hadn't deliberately searched, but unexpectedly obtained a material. This material contained both the power of life and death. Its grade was divine venerable level, a decent material. However, for Lin Moyu, a divine venerable grade material was too low quality and not very useful. Still, it was the first thing he had obtained from the Law Star River, so it had some commemorative value. He casually put it away and continued walking. His aura kept strengthening, advancing towards Divine Venerable Rank 5. The Law Star River was vast, with surging waves crashing over. Lin Moyu crossed the Star River with his physical body. Purple golden light flickered constantly. Step by step, he remained unmoved no matter how the waves crashed against him. Getting closer to the center of the Star River, he would be able to advance to Divine Venerable Rank 5 once he reached the center. Suddenly, his foot kicked something again. Reaching down to scoop it up, it was another material, basically the same as the previous one. Lin Moyu found it strange.
Although there are materials in the Lost Star River, it's said they are not abundant. Usually one has to search for a long time to find one. I've obtained 2 in a short time. Is it because of my good luck?
Lin Moyu knew his luck was good, but not to this extent. After brief consideration, Lin Moyu thought of another possibility. For other laws, many people cultivated them together. Although the Lost Star rivers were vast, with many people entering at the same time, even if there were many materials inside, they would all be taken. For the immortal law, as far as he knew, he was the only one cultivating it. In other words, in the immortal Law Star River, he was alone, with no one to compete with him. So naturally, the probability of encountering materials and treasures was much higher. Lin Moyu looked towards the depths of the Law Star River. The Lost Star River came rolling from an unknown place, an area very few could reach.
It's said that in the depths of the Lost Star River, earth-shaking treasures are hidden, but no one has ever obtained them. In the future, when I have the chance, I can go take a look.
Moving forward again, he finally crossed half the distance, arriving at the center between the two shores. Powerful energy surged from all parts of his body as he officially advanced to Divine Venerable Rank 5. Standing in the Star River, looking at the opposite shore.
As long as I cross the Star River and step onto the other shore, I'll be at the Transcendent Realm. If I keep walking like this, crossing the Star River seems very simple. But those Divine Venerables who only cultivate their souls and not their physical bodies will be stuck at the last step. Their souls can touch the other shore, but their physical bodies haven't moved a step. That's why they thought of the blood path to transcendence as a shortcut, using the power of blood to form a blood path to help their physical bodies cross the Star River. Shortcuts are always just shortcuts. Without the physical body being baptized by the Lost Star River, even if one becomes a transcendent, the foundation is unstable. It will be very difficult to make up for it in the future. Even at the Saint Venerable Realm, one won't be able to construct a perfect rule world. At most it will only be ordinary level. Supreme Venerable would be the limit, with Heavenly Venerable out of reach.
Lin Moyu deeply understood that the path of cultivation was tightly linked, with each step closely connected. One wrong step could lead to errors in every subsequent step, making it very difficult to correct. Lin Moyu could only ensure that he took each step well and steadily, never making a mistake. Leaping out of the immortal Lost Star River, Lin Moyu turned his head to look at the space Lost Star River. Person appeared there. Lin Moyu knew it was just an illusion, indicating someone had entered the space Lost Star River. In the Great World, those who mastered the space law were mainly the star space fish people, along with a few star space beasts. The person he sensed should be from the star space fish race. According to the starry sky giant tree, the star space fish people would not allow anyone else to comprehend the space law. He had once been attacked by the star space fish people with karmic weapons. If he didn't have countermeasures, he might have been injured or even perished. The star space fish people's actions were extremely domineering and unreasonable. In his perception, that person was rapidly approaching him. Lin Moyu knew it was because he had just used the space Lost Star River, alerting the other party. The illusion walked on the waves, quickly arriving before Lin Moyu. Its body was hazy, its appearance unclear. Because this was the Lost Star River, the person was using their soul, not even their entire soul, but likely just a strand of it.
Hello, human Lin Moyu. My name is Uchime.
Uchime, the leader of the star space fish people. Lin Moyu hadn't expected the person who came to be him. Lin Moyu's tone was indifferent, neither servile nor overbearing.
Have you come to kill me?
2138, 2138. Chapter 2138. Not just 5 transcendents. Lin Moyu's tone was very cold. There was no need to be polite to someone who wanted to kill him. If not for the cooperation between their two races, and his good relationship with Yu Qingrou's father, perhaps Lin Moyu would have already gone to kill them. Towards enemies, Lin Moyu was never soft-handed, nor did he show mercy. Seeming to sense Lin Moyu's killing intent, Uchime quickly explained,
Mr. Lin, please don't misunderstand. There may have been some misunderstandings between us before.
Since Uchime came here, he must have already thought of what to say. Regarding this, Lin Moyu didn't want to hear any explanations. In the face of facts, any explanation was pale and powerless. Lin Moyu said,
Let's not mention past events. Tell me your purpose for coming.
Uchime said,
Actually, I came to apologize.
For a saint venerable to open his mouth and say he came to apologize was indeed rare. When would a saint venerable ever lower themselves to apologize to a divine venerable? This must have taken a great deal of determination to put aside his pride. Lin Moyu's eyes narrowed slightly.
There's no need for apologies. How about something more practical?
Apologies were actually meaningless. Even saying sorry 1,000 times wouldn't help. It was better to offer some practical compensation. Lin Moyu threw the ball to Uchime, wanting to see what kind of compensation the star space fish race could offer. The amount of compensation would basically represent how sincere they were. Uchime seemed to have anticipated Lin Moyu would say this, and without much thought said,
The human race is large and prosperous. You probably don't lack for anything. How about this? I can promise Mr. Lin one request. Anytime, anywhere, Mr. Lin can ask me for one favor. As long as it's within my power, I will certainly agree.
The promise of a Saint Venerable seemed very valuable, but was also very vague. Promise was just a promise. Agreeing now didn't mean he would necessarily agree when the time came. Lin Moyu naturally wouldn't easily believe this, but thinking about it, he really didn't need anything. Moreover, Uchime's status was different. He was both a Saint Venerable and the leader of the star space fish race. Perhaps his promise would actually be useful. Of course, agreeing so easily wasn't possible. Lin Moyu said,
Then make an oath.
Uchime said,
Of course. But would Mr. Lin also make an oath?
Lin Moyu smiled and said,
Naturally.
Saying this, Lin Moyu began to make a great world oath, that as long as Uchime agreed to his future request, he would consider the previous attack with karmic weapons as if it never happened. The premise was that the star space fish race would not provoke him again. After Lin Moyu finished his oath, Uchime also made an oath. With the constraint of the Great World runes, the effect of the promise would be somewhat strengthened. After making the oaths, Lin Moyu's attitude improved considerably.
Does the clan leader have any other business?
Uchime said,
I won't disturb Mr. Lin any further.
After saying this, his soul gradually dissipated. Uchime had left. A faint smile appeared on Lin Moyu's lips.
I hope you won't regret it when the time comes.
In fact, Lin Moyu never thought he would need the other party's promise. Compared to asking others to do something, Lin Moyu had more faith in his own fists. As long as his fists were big and hard enough, there was no need to ask others for favors. After advancing to Divine Venerable rank 5, Lin Moyu began to examine his techniques. Except for the Bone Hell, every technique had been strengthened. Advancing 2 ranks in succession, the Undead Legion had undergone the biggest changes. The Skeleton Generals had reached Divine Venerable rank 8, while the Death Dragon Knights had become Divine Venerable rank 9, with the combat power of peak Divine Venerables. The Legion Ruler's combat power had reached half-step Transcendent, similar to Zhu Qiwu when he opened the Blood Path to Transcendence. Combined with the Legion Ruler's extremely strong self-healing ability, in a real fight, it was hard to say who would be stronger. What made Lin Moyu happiest was that the Skeleton King had finally stepped into the Transcendent Realm. When the Skeleton King appeared in space, a large area of space collapsed, as if unable to bear the Skeleton King's power. After reaching the Transcendent Realm, the Skeleton King gained a new ability. He could freely change his size, from as small as 10 meters to as large as 1,000,000 meters. The smaller the form, the faster the speed, but the power would also decrease accordingly. The larger the form, the slower the speed, but the power would increase accordingly. Keeping the form between 1,000 and 10,000 meters could balance agility and power, which was the Skeleton King's most comprehensive state. The Skeleton King's transformation could make battles more diverse and flexible.
Finally reached the Transcendent Realm.
With a Transcendent Realm Skeleton King, many things would become much more convenient. After all, not all races had Saint Venerables. And even for races with Transcendence, they usually only had 1 or 2. The Skeleton King had a full 5. Combined with runes, Lin Moyu felt he alone could now face those races head-on. The Skeleton King changed size according to Lin Moyu's will. From the Transcendent Realm onwards, the Skeleton King was covered in transparent armor. The white bones glowed under the armor. Rule's power flowed throughout his body, with all laws completely gone. Lin Moyu knew the Skeleton King's rules power was called Bone Rules, evolved from Bone Laws. But he didn't know exactly what the Bone Rules could do, and the Skeleton King couldn't tell him either. Trying to have the Skeleton King demonstrate the Bone Rules, Lin Moyu expressed that he couldn't understand. However, when the rules power appeared, Even Lin Moyu as the master felt somewhat frightened, as if seeing something terrifying.
The bone rules should be very powerful. I just don't understand them yet. With 5 transcendents, except for a few races and some strong races, I can sweep through all other races.
Suddenly, a flash of inspiration struck, and he blurted out,
No, not just 5.
His mind moved and the origin technique activated. Immense power transmitted from the undead legion, rapidly raising his realm. Starting from Divine Venerable rank 5, in the blink of an eye he broke through to high rank Divine Venerable, with strands of rules power being born, surrounding his entire body. In an instant, he had surpassed Divine Venerable and reached half-step Transcendent. Before the breakthrough, this was his strongest state. Now, as power continued to pour in, he finally broke through the limit and stepped into Transcendent. Lin Moyu felt his own state, comparing the differences with other Transcendents.
Without truly crossing the Lost Star River, my control over Rule's power is still much weaker than true Transcendence. Rule's power is the foundation of Transcendence. The reason Transcendents are so powerful is that they've converted all their laws into Rule's power. But my laws are still laws, and even.
Lin Moyu looked at the Skeleton King in front of him. He felt that he might not even be as strong as the Skeleton King. No matter how the Skeleton King achieved the Transcendent Realm, his entire body no longer had any trace of laws, only Rule's power. From Divine Venerable to Transcendent was a huge leap. But regardless, his combat power had already surpassed Divine Venerable and could barely be considered Transcendent. Including the Skeleton King, he now had 6 Transcendents on his side, greatly increasing his combat power. Putting away the Skeleton King, Lin Moyu muttered to himself,
I can start the second phase of the plan.
In the former Buddhist territory, now the Star Space Fish Race territory. The Star Space Fish Race had set up extremely complex space formations here, forming a powerful monitoring and defense system. Utilizing space was the Star Space Fish Race's strongest ability. In the core area, Uchime opened his eyes, his consciousness returning. Beside him, a Grand Elder immediately asked,
Clan leader, how did it go?
Uchime let out a sigh of relief.
It's settled. Lin Moyu agreed to our terms. Those matters will be considered as if they never happened. What price did the clan leader pay?
Uchime explained the process. The Grand Elder breathed a sigh of relief.
That's not too bad. He didn't make exorbitant demands.
Uchime said solemnly,
This Lin Moyu is too terrifying. He's very likely to be a second Xiao Zhantian. And with the human race so strong now, we can't afford to provoke him for the time being.
He thought for a moment, then added,
Princess Qigru has a good relationship with Lin Moyu. Perhaps we can have Princess Qigru help repair the relationship between us.
2139, 2139. Chapter 2139. Both siblings are monsters. The warship sailed towards the outer regions once again. Lin Moyu's second step in his plan was to strengthen the Bone Hell. Strengthening the Bone Hell would make his upcoming tasks easier. The ghost race had already appeared once, so there was no need for them to appear again for now. Moreover, the Tao poison had not dissipated, making it unsuitable to enter an enlightenment state again. The enlightenment triggered by 10 races together was more effective than that of a single race, and the residual Tao poison would be less. This time, the residual Tao poison would take only 30 years to completely dissipate. Lin Moyu planned to make the ghost race disappear for 30 years, using this time to elevate the Bone Hell to Divine Venerable rank 9. In the Vermilion Bird battlefield, within the military camp, the Sword Saint Venerable looked at Lin Mohan with a somewhat complex expression. Lin Mohan was currently cultivating, and her aura was steadily rising. Just now, Lin Mohan had only said one sentence. She needed to cultivate and ask the Sword Saint Venerable to protect her. Then she entered a cultivation state. This was not the first time such a thing had happened. Each time Lin Mohan's realm would improve. This time was no different. Her realm was steadily rising. Previously, she had just entered the Transcendent Realm, and her realm was not particularly stable. Keen observers could still see residual laws on her body. But now, the residual laws were rapidly transforming into rules power. Lin Moyu was getting stronger. Such a cultivation speed was astonishing. The Sword Saint Venerable activated a formation to prevent anyone from disturbing Lin Moyu and stood guard outside the formation, not leaving her side. The Kill Saint Venerable and the Rune Saint Venerable came over together. The Kill Saint Venerable glanced at Lin Moyu and smiled.
It seems Lin's realm has improved again.
The Sword Saint Venerable looked over with confusion.
Are you talking about Lin Moyu, that guy?
The Kill Saint Venerable replied.
Who else could it be?
The Sword Saint Venerable was puzzled.
What does Mohan's improvement have to do with Lin Moyu? Guess?
The Sword Saint Venerable's eyebrows raised, almost drawing her sword on the spot.
I don't guess, just tell me.
The Kill Saint Venerable put on a smug look, as if saying,
What can you do about it?
One had to admit, the Kill Saint Venerable's current demeanor was quite infuriating. The Rune Saint Venerable acted as a mediator.
It's because of bloodline resonance. Every time Lin's realm improves, it pushes Mohan's realm to improve as well.
The Sword Saint Venerable was stunned, then suddenly realized.
No wonder Mohan's advancements have been so sudden. Without using the blood path, she reached the transcendent realm in just over 10 years. I thought it was due to her unparalleled talent, but it turns out it's because of bloodline resonance.
The Rune Saint Venerable shook his head.
It's not entirely due to bloodline resonance. Mohan's own talent must also be extremely strong. Bloodline resonance alone wouldn't achieve such results.
After discovering the bloodline resonance between Lin Moyu and Lin Moyu, the Saint Venerables researched a lot of related information through the Human Emperor network. They concluded that while bloodline resonance had a significant effect, one's own talent was equally important. If Lin Mohan's talent were average, bloodline resonance wouldn't reach this level. The Kill Saint Venerable sneered.
You only know part of it.
A sword light flashed, and the Sword Saint Venerable's long sword pointed at the Kill Saint Venerable.
Are you itching for a fight?
The Kill Saint Venerable snorted.
You might not be able to beat me now.
Behind the Kill Saint Venerable, a mass of mist was rolling. With the help of the Wraith of Shimu, the Kill Saint Venerable's combat power had significantly increased, showing a fearless attitude. The War Saint Venerable arrived at some point, smiling.
Old Kill, what else do you know? Tell us.
The Kill Saint Venerable said.
Lin once said that his sister has a cultivation talent that can increase her cultivation speed by more than 100 times. I think the effect of bloodline resonance might also be influenced by this talent, increasing it by 100 times.
The others exchanged glances. Bloodline resonance was already monstrous enough, and with such a talent, it was indeed unimaginable. The Sword Saint Venerable sighed.
Truly blessed by heaven and earth.
The War Saint Venerable shook his head.
Perhaps she is the reincarnation of an ancient mighty being, beyond comprehension.
With extraordinary cultivation talent, bloodline resonance, and the bloodline inheritance of an ancient mighty being, Lin Moyu possessed the ability to fight beyond her level. All these factors made Lin Moyu shine like a star. The siblings could only be described with two words. Monsters. In the eyes of the Saint Venerables, both siblings were monsters. On the demon race's ancestral star, the abyssal fire burned fiercely. It seemed as if a huge hole had been torn in the void, with flames cascading down like a waterfall. At the bottom of the flame waterfall, the abyssal demon lord bathed in the flames, his aura gradually recovering. However, the recovery was slow and would take a long time. Lin Mohan's sword had almost shattered his rule world. The rule world was everything to a Saint Venerable. When it was damaged, his body and soul were also injured. The abyssal demon lord knew that his defeat was mainly due to the undying skull. Although it was his magical treasure, why did it suddenly explode? A supreme-grade magical treasure contained terrifying power. The flames inside backfired, directly causing him serious injuries. This gave Lin Moyu an opportunity. The abyssal demon lord looked up. his gaze piercing through the flame waterfall into the void, and his hoarse voice echoed.
Demon Lord, do you know why?
After a moment, a large face appeared in the flames.
I told you before, with your ability, you cannot control a supreme-grade magical treasure. Magical treasures have spirits. A supreme-grade magical treasure already possesses a bit of sentience. Perhaps it didn't want you to control it, seeing it as an insult.
The Abyssal Demon Lord was clearly unconvinced.
But I clearly refined it.
The Demon Lord said,
Perhaps you only refined the surface.
The Abyssal Demon Lord couldn't think of a better answer and could only accept this explanation. The Demon Lord continued,
This is just my guess. I will ask them to see if I can get a more accurate answer. After all, the item was given by them, so they should know better. Recover quickly. The war with the human race is far from over.
The Abyssal Demon Lord said in a low voice,
I know, Demon Lord. This time, 10 races were exterminated by the ghost race. I feel something is not right. Could someone be manipulating the ghost race?
The Demon Lord said in a low voice,
There should be. 10 races were exterminated, and even the Abyssal Demon I did not issue any warning. Clearly, the ghost race has a way to evade the Abyssal Demon I will investigate this matter thoroughly.
The Demon Lord disappeared, and the Abyssal Demon Lord continued to bathe in the abyssal fire, slowly recovering from his injuries. The flames condensed into Lin Mohan's image, and the Abyssal Demon Lord's low, sinister voice echoed.
Next time, I will definitely kill you.
The Blood Bull Saint Venerable came to the statue again, recounting the events of the previous battle. The Blood Bull Saint Venerable was somewhat worried. He feared that the human race was getting stronger and that they might not be able to hold out until the end. After all, there were still over 1,300 years before the world's origin would reveal itself. The statue emitted a faint light, gathering into a ball. After 100 days, the light finally condensed into a fist-sized ball. The ball contained extremely terrifying power, and the Blood Bull Saint Venerable carefully received it. The statue's voice slowly echoed.
The time for my descent will be delayed by 5 years. Take care.
The Blood Bull Saint Venerable immediately bowed.
Thank you, my lord.
Condensing the light ball was not without cost. It consumed a lot of power, delaying his descent by 5 years. But the Blood Bull Saint Venerable didn't mind. He was more concerned about the survival of himself and his race. 2140. Chapter 2140. Let the rules world incorporate the power of the void. Each race has its own calculations. The Demon race, Golden Eagle race, and Bull Demon race all have their own plans and intentions. The 100-Race Alliance now has fewer than 100 races. After the ravaging of the Ghost race, 13 races silently disappeared. The morale of the current 100-Race Alliance is at an extreme low. It will take a long time to recover. With the Abyssal Demon Lord absent, the Black Gold Saint Venerable of the Golden Eagle race has become the main leader of the 100-Race Alliance. The 100-Race Alliance has begun to withdraw and no longer deploys troops on all sides of the human race, but concentrates in areas close to the Vermilion Bird and White Tiger Star regions. The total number of troops is still huge, exceeding 2 billion. Among them, the weakest are high-rank God Kings. In this battle, mid- and low-rank God Kings have no qualifications to participate, let alone true gods. Even high-rank God Kings serve as cannon fodder on the battlefield. God Venerables are the main force in this great war, while Transcendents and Saint Venerables truly determine victory or defeat. In terms of total troop numbers, the 100-Race Alliance has surpassed the human race. The number of Transcendents also exceeds the human race, and the total number of Saint Venerables from all races combined is also greater than the human race. But even with advantages in every aspect, they lost and lost very decisively. This is the real reason for their low morale. However, after some adjustments, things have finally stabilized. After some time, morale can gradually recover. The war between them and the human race is not over, it can only be said to have just begun. At the boundary between the inner and outer realms, this world belonging to the starry sky beasts envelopes the entire inner realm space. There are many races in the inner realm space, and not much space belongs to the starry sky beasts. Only a few specific places are suitable for them. However, the outer realm, due to its scarce laws and diluted power, is also not a place the starry sky beasts like. Over time, the boundary area between the inner and outer realms has become the best gathering place for starry sky beasts. Large numbers of starry sky beasts gather here, living and resting in this area. There are also powerful beings among the starry sky beasts, with some at the transcendent realm. Just like the former starry sky giant tree, starry sky beasts at this level may develop consciousness and intelligence. They will command other starry sky beasts, forming huge armies to attack weaker races. Almost all weak races in the border areas have been attacked by starry sky beasts. Fortunately, the starry sky beasts only come once, eat some planets and living beings, and then retreat. They seem to know not to go too far, otherwise the powerful beings of various races would intervene. Lin Moyu's warship silently emerged from deep space. Then Lin Moyu left the warship and gazed into space. He stood at the edge of the boundary, thinking of the information he had read before.
In the boundary area, the number of starry sky beasts is uncountable. There are many transcendents, and even Saint Venerable level starry sky beasts exist. In 30 years, no, less than 29 years, it's impossible to clear out all the starry sky beasts here. Even just clearing out 1% is impossible. But I'll clear out as many as I can.
The boundary area was too vast, enveloping the entire inner realm space with an incalculable length. In such a large area, even if Lin Moyu walked through it all, it would take countless time. He stepped into the boundary area and immediately sensed the aura of starry sky beasts. The misty fog dispersed, and the bone hell silently flew out, covering 10 billion li of space. In an instant, it enveloped a large number of starry sky beasts. The starry sky beasts were all startled awake, letting out earth-shaking roars. Unfortunately, the roars couldn't transmit out and could only echo within the bone hell. Hellfire burned them, and hell spirits rushed out to tear them to pieces. Faced with hell spirits at God Venerable rank 8, most starry sky beasts had no resistance. Even the occasional peak God Venerable starry sky beast would die under the siege of hell spirits.
Leave some, don't eat them all.
Lin Moyu's mind moved, issuing an order. For all starry sky beasts, regardless of their realm, Lin Moyu required leaving some flesh behind. This flesh could be used to perform resurrection of the dead and build an army of resurrected beings. A containment formation followed the bone hell, collecting the remaining flesh of the starry sky beasts. There was no need for classification, just crudely piling them together, quickly forming a mountain of corpses. Lin Moyu pushed the bone hell forward, devouring all starry sky beasts along the way, not sparing a single one. The starry sky beasts were not weak, at least at the God Venerable realm. Devouring them provided significant help for the bone hell's growth. He could feel the bone hell's power rapidly strengthening, getting closer and closer to advancement. Lin Moyu watched battle after battle, observing the ferocious hell spirits, increasingly feeling how abnormal and terrifying this technique was. If one day the bone hell could grow to the transcendent realm, all the transcendents in the great world combined wouldn't be enough for the bone hell to eat. After all, by then, the number of hell spirits would increase further, and each one would be a transcendent. Perhaps even Saint Venerables would turn tail and run when they saw it. Being surrounded by tens of millions of transcendents, even half-step supremes would feel their scalps tingle. Among beings of the same realm, the story of ants biting an elephant to death is not impossible. It just depends on whether there are enough ants. The mountain of corpses in the containment formation grew higher and higher, and the bone hell had devoured an uncountable number of starry sky beasts. The hellfire river became increasingly turbulent, with countless fresh blood pouring into it, making the hellfire river even broader. The spider lilies on both banks also became more vibrant and beautiful. 3 years later, the bone hell finally grew to its limit, but it was still at God Venerable rank 8 and hadn't advanced. After that, no matter how many starry sky beasts it devoured, the bone hell showed no changes. It was like a cup that was already full. No matter how much more water you poured, you couldn't make the cup bigger. Lin Moyu sensed the changes in the bone hell, feeling that it seemed to be lacking something, which prevented it from advancing. After some thought, he finally realized what the bone hell was missing. It lacked real power. The bone hell's attribute was void, and during its previous advancement, Lin Moyu had a sudden idea to make it a combination of void and reality. At that time, the bone hell's power surged, undergoing a qualitative change. Now, the bone hell had again reached the edge of advancement, and it similarly needed real power as a catalyst. Understanding the reason made things easier. The immortal law star river appeared, and the gray-white laws poured down like a heavenly waterfall, irrigating the bone hell. The bone hell rumbled, and with the irrigation of real power, it began to grow again despite having reached its limit before. Its power strengthened, but it still didn't advance. Lin Moyu's mind moved, and the bone hell began devouring starry sky beasts again, while the power of the immortal law continued to pour into it. At this moment, the bone hell was like a cup originally full of water, suddenly becoming larger, able to hold more water. It needed to be filled again to truly evolve. Lin Moyu wasn't in a hurry. The more it was like this, the more powerful the bone hell would be after advancing. Watching the changes in the bone hell, Lin Moyu began to ponder his own rules world.
The combination of void and reality. It seems when I construct my rules world, I must also consider this issue. The power of the void is a power that only Supremes encounter. Only in the rules worlds of Supremes is it possible for the power of the void to appear. If I use the power of the void from the very beginning of construction, what effect will it have?
Roar. Space shook as a sudden roar interrupted Lin Moyu's thoughts. 2141.